starting over in Lakeland, Florida. After watching trains over at Plant City's Rail Fest earlier today, we have came over to Lakeland, Florida for the rest of the night to watch some more trains go by. This is from about 9 p.m. to midnight. We got 4 trains, first one being CSX Q604, a nightly mixed freight train out of Winston Yard in Lakeland to Waycross, Georgia, with 2 SD40-2 EMD locomotives wide open getting this train over that hill. This mixed freight is composed partially of Martin Marietta rock, aggregate hoppers, some miscellaneous freight, but mostly empty sulfur and loaded phosphate headed back north. Phosphate and sulfur is a huge commodity down here, especially in the Bone Valley region like Mulberry, Bartow, and other areas in that vicinity. The engineer on tonight's Q604 had to give these 2 EMD units all they had to get this train over the hill that I'm referring to. The hill that I am in fact referring to is in between Winston Yard, about 2 miles west of here, and Lakeland Junction, which is just under that overpass down there. From Winston Yard to South Lakeland, which is just before the junction, it is about a 1.3 to 1.7% grade. No, that doesn't sound like much, but for a partially empty, partially loaded 10,000 plus foot freight train, those 2 EMD units had to give it all they had to get that train over that hill, and so do most trains coming out of Winston Yard. But eventually, once he got his entire train over the hill, he cruised on toward Kathleen, Vitus, Ocala, Folkestone, and eventually Waycross, Georgia. Our next move was over to downtown Lakeland. We had gone here to wait on the nightly Q178, a large northbound intermodal train nightly out of the big Winter Haven Intermodal Logistics Center up to Jacksonville's Duval Ramp. However, as we're sitting, waiting, I hear the dispatcher talking to a train giving them permission into Park Spur. And from what I had heard from a friend the night before, I knew it could only be one train. CSX 0801. Park Spur is a small branch line that branches off from the main line about, I'd say, 5 miles east of downtown Lakeland. And CSX 0801 is a last mileage run of CSX NO20. NO20 is a southbound as-needed coal train from Evansville, Indiana to Wildwood, Florida. Once the NO20 makes it to Wildwood, he changes crews and becomes 0801. After becoming 0801, he is a simple last mileage trip from Wildwood down to Lakeland's McIntosh power plant, which is what we're catching now. Once he makes it into Park Spur and to the power plant, he'll be in and out within a couple of hours. However, we won't stick around for that. Once the crew gets the train back to Wildwood, it then changes crews again and becomes EO20 back to Evansville. We didn't stick around because from here I could see all the way down to the South Lakeland signal, and it was a medium clear for CSX Q045, one of the intermodal trains that I had come out to see tonight. He is from Jacksonville's Duval Ramp into Tampa's Uceda Yard.
Q4513, CSX 282, approach meeting, Lakeland Junction, heading southwest.
already watched my Plant City Railfest video, and if you haven't, please do, you will have seen that CSX Q046 was composed of Tropicana juice and intermodal cars. The same is usually true with Q045. He will carry empty juice and intermodal containers. But for some reason, he didn't have any juice tonight. Last train of the night was the one I was waiting on originally, CSX Q178. That large intermodal out of the Winter Haven Intermodal Logistics Center, or ILC, headed to Jacksonville's Duval Ramp. This would be my first time catching Q178, however, its counterpart, Q177 back to Winter Haven, wouldn't have a crew on duty in Jacksonville until about 11 o'clock tonight. That time was past, but they still needed time to get down here, and that wasn't something we planned on waiting for. So that would end our night and the day completely. So I hope y'all enjoyed the rest of the trains we caught on April 13th, 2019. At CSX's Lakeland Junction on the Vitus subdivision, this is Kotabeaner, out.